Alright, what's up guys? Frank the Gaming Tank here. Trying some different camera setups here to see how this works. If it's not good enough, then I'll go back to using my other camera and everything. I've been away for a little while, just had some stuff going on I gotta take care of, and I'm just a little busy right now until the beginning of the year. I'll have more content coming out again, hopefully. Come around February, I'll have more steady stream of content, but I just got a lot to take care of right now. I'm going on a trip in January. I'm going back overseas to Asia and Vietnam. So I'll be going for 3 weeks then, and I am planning to make a YouTube channel about my travels over there. And so I'm not sure on the name yet. I'm trying to think of a name for the channel, and I'm going to create it soon. When I do, I'll let you guys know on here in my videos whenever I get that set up, if you guys want to go follow that. But today, let's get to what we're here for today. Now, what I want to do today is talk about this guy here, the Carby V2 from Insurrection. Now, this is an HDMI adapter for your Gamecube. Here's the actual adapter itself. It just has one HDMI input on the back, and this part goes into the digital out on your Gamecube. And it comes with this little remote, and you use this remote to access the menus in there to change your quality settings and like add scan lines and things like that if you want to. So I also wanted to compare it to this cable. I don't have the box for this anymore. I'm not sure where I placed it, but this is the cable from, sorry you can't see it there, it's by Hyperkin. Now this cable runs $30 US, and it is running through S-video only, so the picture quality is quite a bit worse. That's what I want you guys to see. It does go from the standard Nintendo output there to the HDMI though, so it does connect to an HDMI, but of course it's not a component RGB or HDMI there. What it actually is S-video. And so your picture quality is quite a bit fuzzier, color quality is not as good, but the one plus with this cable is it does work on Super Nintendo, GameCube, and Nintendo 64, which is probably what I'm going to use it for mostly, is the Nintendo 64, because it's not easy to come by any kind of cables that work well for the Nintendo 64. They're all fairly expensive, so I'll probably be using it for that if I want to do some footage for my Nintendo 64. So I was looking into getting either the GCHD Mark II or this, and from the research I did, it's using the same code base as the GCHD, and there's some features that this one doesn't have, such as having the analog output also on the same adapter, but this one does leave the analog output open, so you can use the analog output on the Gamecube itself at the same time. Now you can't put component cables in to this like you can the GCHD, which is a positive on the GCHD, but Insurrection does make Gamecube replacement component cables that plug into the digital output. So they have an option there too, and this here only runs $75 US. So it's much cheaper than GCHD. The GCHD is about $150 US. So it's half the price. And as far as picture quality goes, which we'll show you here soon, it's pretty good. And from what I've seen, it's the same as GCHD. Now, I don't own the GCHD, but I have done a lot of research, watched a lot of videos and everything. And since they run the same code base, it's an open source license, then, I mean, the quality is not going to be that much different because there's no proprietary code or anything like that it's running for the video and audio codec running through there. So we have this and the Hyperkin, and let's get to comparing some video footage and let you guys see it for yourself and see what you think about the Carby. This is the V2 Carby from Insurrection Industries.
Alright guys, first up, I'm going to show you some Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike. It's one of my favorite games on the Gamecube. It's one of the best looking games on the Gamecube. And we're going to start off with the Hyperkin HDMI adapter. And as you can see, the video's a little bit washed out. and the resolution's kind of blurry, and that's just the quality of this cable. It's not going to do much. It's just S-video, so you're not going to get the best color output or the higher resolution, because it just goes into the analog output on the GameCube. And I chose this stage here because this one has a lot going on. You have on-foot missions, you have on-foot in the mission. You get to fly your ship and stuff in here too, and it really shows off the visuals of the game really well, I think, on this stage. And when I first played this game, back when it came out on GameCube, this is my original save file from back then. I played the demo first, and this stage here was amazing to me. You got all these troops everywhere, and you got all the walkers going around. It's just a lot going on at one time on the screen, just stuff hadn't really seen before in games, really on that scale. And it all runs at 60 frames per second. And here, as you can see, I got killed by one of the walkers falling over. I didn't think I was that close, but he still killed me. And on this part, you got to walk up here and get a tripod gun, and then I cut this part out, I think. And then you just go to your X-Wing and fight. And that's the best part of the stage. It's the most fun part, and it's the most visually appealing part. And you can really tell the difference whenever we switch over in a little bit to the Insurrection Industries Carby. I left some of these video sequences in here for you guys to see just the video quality, because it has little movie clips in the game, and I thought it'd be nice for you guys to be able to see the quality of the video output as far as like actual movie and video. And as you can see, it's a little blurry. You got all these ships going around though. I mean, the quality is okay. If this is your only option, it's only $30 for this Hyperkin adapter. So I mean, for $30 you can't really ask for much, and it hooks your S-video signal straight to your HDMI TV if your TV doesn't have composite or S-video input, so it's convenient. And again, this cable does work on your Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo as well, so that's one positive for it. This mission here just has a whole lot of TIE fighters and friendly ships and stuff going on at one time, and you can really see the color of the sky, the ship, everything, so it's going to go well for the comparison later. But I thought this was a stage with a nice variety for you to be able to see.
Awaiting your command. We can't take much more of this. Attack my target. Engaging ties.
And I'm not sure if you can tell in here, as I stated, this cable does have a switch on it for 16:9 and 4:3 modes. And I did play this in the 16:9 mode as I prefer it, but I know that some people prefer the original 4:3. And in some games I'm the same, but with this particular cable on the GameCube, it looks fine in widescreen. I don't see any issues with it. We should be coming up on the end of this mission here soon.
We lost transport 1. Watch out for those TIE bombers.
Then we'll go on to another stage first and show a minute or two of that, and then we'll switch over to the Carby afterwards.
Thanks for the escort, Luke. See you at the rendezvous point.
And here's I started off with me hitting a tree, but this is the speeder bike level from, I think it's from Return of the Jedi movie, pretty sure. And this stage back when it first came out was one of the most beautiful looking things I ever seen in a game. All the foliage, trees, full 60 frames per second, the lighting and shadows, just really good. And this cable shows it off fairly well. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. You can really still see the details. It's just a little blurry. The color's a little bit off, but it's not terrible. Aim's a little terrible though, but we're just here to look at the quality of the cable, not my gameplay here. And as these guys come up, you have to hit the B button when they stick to you and bash them into a tree, but you have to be careful because you hit the tree yourself, and I hit another tree here. And you can switch into first person mode on the flight stages. I'll let you guys just watch the rest of this out real fast.
I'm on it.
And alright, here we have the intro to the game. Now we have attached the Carby cable. And here's the menu that you have. You use your remote to access the menu. You use all different kind of settings in here. Your scanline settings if you're in 480i mode. Then you have your brightness, contrast, saturation here. And then we'll go to other settings. It has just different things here. RGB, volume, mode switch delay. Then you have OSD settings, which is just your on-screen display for the adapter here. And then this shows all the display modes that it can display in. Just the different resolutions, basically. Now we'll get started on the same mission. Right here, where this is the same mission I did with the Hyperkin, so you guys can compare them. See how much better the video quality is on just this right here. It's just way better. It's higher resolution, better color, and you can definitely see it here. You are going to get it probably slightly more aliasing because there's no blur over the image from the resolution or in being an S video. And as you can see here, it just looks way sharper. The textures look cleaner because you can see them better. There's no blur around the edges anymore. And now this isn't upscaling your image at all, so it's still going to just be the detail level of 480p. But it is the cleanest 480p output you're going to get from the GameCube. Some people may prefer the analog output from the component cables. It's a little bit different picture, but I like the sharpness and color quality and everything of the HDMI adapter here. When we get through this stage, this little area here, we'll go up to the flight part of the mission so you guys can see the difference in the color quality. You can already kind of tell in the sky here, it's a little more bluish and not as gray. And you can see way more ships now than you could before because just the clarity is so much better. You can see them from further away. And now this stage always starts the same. There's no difference in the enemy ships and stuff. It's just so much cleaner to see. And just the resolution, color detail, everything is just crisp and clean. And it's all with no input lag at all. You get zero input lag. And
We're getting shot up here. We need assistance.
we'll just let you guys watch the rest of this mission, let it play out.
We can't take much more of this. We're getting hit pretty badly.
Attack my target.
Engaging. We're getting hit hard. those TIE bombers. Thanks for the escort, Luke. See you at the rendezvous point.
Alright, and there's the end of that mission. We're going to go to the speeder bike level again here, and as you can see, just the foliage. You can see the details in the foliage better. The bark on the trees looks cleaner and clearer. You can see the enemies clearer. And the colors are more realistic and natural. The shadows are a little better. It's not quite as dark, really, as the Hyperkin was. It's not as blurry. Just really, really good picture quality. So I was really impressed with this cable when I first hooked it up. Because the best quality I've had my GameCube out of was playing GameCube games through Component on the Wii, which isn't terrible, but it's just not to this level. Not quite.
Rebel scum.
And that is probably the most affordable option if you have a Wii. Just go ahead and get you some component cables for the Wii. They can be found for little or nothing, and it will output 480p video from the GameCube, but it's just not going to be as crisp and solid of a picture overall as the Carby or the GCHD Mark II. And here I threw in a little bonus here at the end. I made it to the end of the level. You see this little part here where you have to fight the guy on a speeder bike with your lightsaber. It's really easy. I just thought it was a nice look here. The little foliage you get to see. And that's that. And then we're switching over to another game that really shows off the difference well. We're going to show you just a couple of sequences from this game. A couple different areas from each. And we are starting with the Hyperkin Adapter, if you couldn't tell. It's pretty blurry. Color's a little washed out, but it gets the job done. And here, as you can see, the colors just don't look quite right. It's kind of blurry, and you'll notice that as you walk around here, around the island here. I thought this game really showed it off well. That's why I chose this one. And Rebel Strike has a lot of detail in it and stuff. That's the reason I chose that game as well. But just stuff in the distance is considerably blurry, and here I'm switching to the 4x3 mode to let you guys see it. I was going to do it earlier in the video, but I had forgotten to, but I thought I'd do it here. I just prefer the way it looks in the 16:9 instead of the 4x3, and we'll switch back. Everything looks a little squashed, but you know, to each his own. I know everybody prefers it different. Just a little longer in this area, and we'll move on to the next one. And here we are. Spoiler alert, if you've made it this far in the video and don't want to see this, I show a little bit here coming up soon of the final boss fight. I do not show the entire fight or the story segments from it, just a little snippet of the boss fight. If you've never beaten this game and you don't want to be spoiled on what the final boss fight looks like, then you might want to skip past this, and we do the same in the Carby part, so just a heads up. And here we are. I'm going to show a little bit here from the boss fight. And this is Ganon. A little close there, Zelda. Or should I say Tetra. And here we go to the actual fight. It's a pretty fairly easy fight. It's not too hard. And I beat it both tries on my first try playing on both adapters, so it wasn't too bad. One of the easier final bosses in a Zelda game, I'd say. It's one of my favorite Zelda games, though. Overall, I really love the game. And there's something about the game, though. I don't think you can really see it in this part, but you'll see it coming up here shortly when we're on the Carby. When this game runs in 480p, it does have like a dither pattern you can see. Like lines in the screen. Just let me guys know if you notice it on the video. I notice it quite easily on the TV. About to finish up this area here shortly. Move on to the next one. I just wanted to show some different angles and stuff from the fight. Okay, here we go. We're going to move to another area. And this is actually on my completed second run playthrough here. You're close to the beginning of the game. This one shows off the lighting and shadows and stuff fairly well here, so I thought it'd be nice to show this area. These are, again, my save files from 2003, as you can see there on the loading screen. And now we're on the Carby here. As you can see, the format of the screen, it's a little different. And you can run this in 16:9 mode as well from the menu, but I just left it the way it was because it was the more natural look for it. It wasn't really 4:3. It was kind of a half wide screen in a way. But you can see how much better the color is. I mean, it actually looks green and not green with like a white layer over it and stuff. The grass, you can see more detail in. It's just so much better. The blue is blue of the water. It's not a washed out blue color like it's cloudy or something. And we'll just go back and do the same little path here, kind of, that we did before. Kind of shorten it a little bit. And here we are going back to the same area at the final boss fight coming up here soon. To show, I wanted to do this area where you climb the rope so you can see like the reflection of the water and all that stuff. Just so you can see how much better the Carby is. Just the reflection and color on his shield and everything too. It's just so good. The GameCube was amazing system. It's one of my favorite consoles of all time. Has some of my favorite games ever on it as well. And here we are fighting Ganon. And as I said, the boss fight was easy. I almost died here. Had to use my little potion bottle here. Basically, if you've not played this before and you don't mind spoilers, you have to let Tetra shoot him with the arrow, and then you can attack him. And then later, you have to reflect the arrows. And that's pretty much the entire fight. It lasts maybe 5 minutes. Still one of the more epic endings to a game, but I don't want to spoil the ending, the way the fight ends. And the game's ending itself is okay, but just the ending of this fight is pretty epic. But that's why I didn't show the whole fight. I don't want to spoil the story parts, the ending, or the conclusion to the battle. And here we are at the final part here for the Carby. Just want to let you guys compare this part to the same part on the Hyperkin cable. And I'm just going to let it play out the rest of the way. It's not much longer, and we're going to move on to my final thoughts and let you guys know how I feel about the cable.
Alright guys, so there you have it. You got to see the Hyperkin video, which is basically S-video output over HDMI. And also the Insurrection Carby. This is the V2. So you can definitely see the difference there. The Carby is much cleaner, crisper, and much better color output on this thing. Of course, it does run a progressive scan, and the other one's just 480i. So there is that. And yeah, so what are my thoughts on it? I love this thing. It's the best picture quality you're going to get out of a GameCube, other than maybe if you've got an OSSC, some type of upscaler that's really good. But I mean, this is amazing quality out of your GameCube. It's pretty much the best raw video output you're going to get. Now, as for the price, 75 bucks, as compared to everything else that I've seen and used on these consoles and stuff, yes, this is definitely worth 75 bucks. The other cable was 30, and as you can see in the video, it is way worse. And the other cable has a switch for widescreen and 4x3, and in the video I did have it on widescreen. I think it looks better on that one with the widescreen on. I know people have their preferences on that, but yeah, this is definitely a good buy. Definitely check them out. Probably the cheapest you're going to get a good quality video out of your GameCube, and you do have to have the GameCube with the digital video out on it, and the audio passes through and everything. The audio is better quality, color is better quality, the image quality is better. It's just great. So there you have it. That's the Carby by Insurrection Industries. And if you guys like the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Frank the Gaming Tank out.